ShiThead on the Street here. Gonna just see if anybody has any concerns about Corona and if they've heard any crazy stories, and maybe I can debunk some of the myths. We're available here if people want to ask us scientist questions about COVID. Let's see how it goes. I'm Dr. Savanye ShiThead Olander. You guys can just call me ShiThead, and I do science. We just do science talks. So what's the weirdest like myths or crazy stuff you've heard about COVID?
Like the president taking that medicine when he doesn't have COVID. What is it called?
The hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, when's it going to be over?
In the science community, they have the saying, quarantine until vaccine. We're trying to wait for Bill Gates to take care of it, but it's like, why are we waiting for the guy who created Windows Vista to save us? You know what I mean?
Yes, that's troubling, I think.
I'm not an immunologist, I'm just a general scientist. So here's the story with that hydroxychloroquine stuff. It's not been FDA approved, but scientifically, it checks out scientifically that if you take your medical advice from the president, you deserve to get sick.
Hello, America. I'm Dr. Larry Nassar. Today we're here in the beautiful Worcester, Mass. At Green Hill Park. We're asking people about their concerns with the reopening of the state of Massachusetts and just about like their life experience during the lockdown. President Trump has stated that even when international travel is kind of eased, he's still going to restrict countries like China, Italy. Are there any other countries we should be restricting, not allowing to travel internationally?
I mean, I think the
Chernobyl exclusion zone, 0 reported cases. What do you think Ukraine is hiding from us?
The Chernobyl exclusion zone?
0 reported cases of COVID.
Yeah, I mean, I think that doesn't necessarily mean there aren't cases there. That means there's...
Sorry, I can't get the mask on. Can't get this jacket on either. I had another jacket. They used it to make masks, and now there's 3,000 children who will never need another mask. You know, it's kind of large. The rest of it went to that new flag they hung up in front of the Stop and Shop.
Are you comparing the radiation exposure to COVID exposure? Or?
6 in one, half dozen of the other.
I'm not really sure what you're saying at this point.
Thank you, sir.
We're actually starting to tell people to wear diapers. The whole logic behind the mask is you could cough and then some of the particles could get out and land. You've got your pants on, and if somebody passes gas, you smell it from across the room. So when was the last time somebody coughed and you smelled it from across the room? You know what I mean?
Right. No, you're right.
So maybe spread around that we should all be wearing diapers?
No.
Sir? You know what? We'll let you have your business. Don't worry about it.
They're part of the crowd that protests different places to reopen, and a whole bunch of them got sick anyways.
You know, funny thing about those protests, I remember being with them in spirit because it's freedom and liberty and you should have the right to go out in public if you want. But that's the only way I wanted to be with them. I didn't want to be with them in that group physically, you know what I mean? I take my liberties different places. You know, anybody who's been to the Sunday bar with me knows that I like liberties.
We went to California back in November. Yeah, possibility we caught it there because we had some of the symptoms when we came back for
in November, December.
November, December.
Yeah.
Okay. Did the symptoms feel different or more extreme than like a regular flu type thing that makes you think it could have been corona?
No, I lost my sense of smell, but I didn't lose my sense of smell till 2 months after the other symptoms.
Did you feel lucky for a while when her smell was gone?
Did I feel lucky? Yes. It was quiet. She had a hard time breathing.
An area called the Chernobyl exclusion zone, which is about 250 square kilometers. 0 reported cases. We say kilometers because we're scientists. 0 reported cases of COVID. What are the Ukrainians hiding from us that they aren't telling us?
Could be vaccinations already. Could be a complete lockdown.
So you think Ukraine already has the vaccine and they're not sharing it with anybody? Do you think their scientists independently developed it?
Who knows?
You're the official scientist, so
Yeah, I got the lab coat.
you would have all the answers, just like all the ones on TV.
That's right. I'm the guy to ask. What's the weirdest thing you've heard?
The bat, eating the bat.
Well, scientifically, you can eat a bat. Physically, you can.
You can eat a bat, but you can't catch a bat virus. It has to be mutated in order for it to enter a human.
That sounds pretty scientifically accurate. I think the theory now is that the bat was used in a lab, and then it was sold to a wet market, and that's how it was. There was something in the bat that could be transferred to a human.
One bat, one person, no. It happened in the lab in Wuhan. Absolutely, there was mutating and something going on, and they just didn't know how to contain it, so they just let happen what happened, and here we are today.
Think it's too soon, or have we waited long enough?
I think with our economic standpoint, we have to somewhat open soon.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Right. Yeah, the bankers should let us know when this should be all be over. Yeah, I agree.
There are some new schools of thought about this virus in the scientific community that I just made up. We're thinking about it more like a pheromone. Like, you know how when there's a skunk in the neighborhood, you drive around the block, you smell it everywhere. Right, so we're kind of like looking at it like that. Just because somebody coughs doesn't mean it could just be in the air. Just like with a skunk, what we're recommending people do is as soon as you get home, just take a bath in spaghetti sauce just to be safe.
Get that information out there.
There are certain businesses that I feel should be open that aren't open. Marijuana dispensaries are still closed to the public. It's freedom that we deserve to have.
Do you think the closing of marijuana facilities has anything to do with the fact that they found out that the virus can actually stick to THC crystals?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Well, I mean, you're going to get it either way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're going to get...
Do you have any questions for us in the scientific community?
No.
Oh, your sisters?
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. So you've been quarantined together. How's that experience been?
Unfortunate. No, I'm just kidding.
Have you guys been getting along?
Yes.
Yeah, we have. We
That's
actually
good.
got a lot closer during quarantine, doing a lot of stuff together.
I've changed my locks 3 times. Yeah. It's not been good at my house.
People are getting on Trump because of the chloroquine thing, ingesting detergents or whatever. What do you think of that whole thing?
Definitely a stupid idea, but not outside of the ideas that I would expect out of Trump at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of our stance in the scientific community. If you're listening to our current president for medical advice, you deserve whatever he gives you.
Yeah. President Trump is saying when international travel eases, he's still going to exclude countries like China, Italy, countries that have been heavily affected. What other countries do you think we should exclude?
You could do India because it's also highly populated as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, but I think right now, China, Italy, those are good starts.
Did you get tested?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I do work in a hospital, so I'm definitely exposed to it. Sorry.
We're also advising that you start wearing diapers as well. Have you heard about this yet?
I have not.
There's actually a scientific reason for it because if you think about it, the reason that we're wearing the masks is because you could cough and some particles could go out into the air and somebody could be exposed to it, right? Here's a good way to paint the picture for you, okay? When was the last time you coughed on the other side of the room and it smelled so bad that your friends had to punch you?
Never.
Right?
That's a fair point.
So do you think you'll consider the diaper?
I'll consider it.